Hello and welcome to Team Solavei. My name is Stacy Wallace and it's my honor to be a social executive with Solavei. And today we have with us four of the absolute best of the best creme de la creme leaders in Solavei. And I'm excited. We have social executives Jose and Svetlana Miranda. We've got Ricardo Gloria, social connector, James Linhart, social networker, and Gary Craig, social networker. And today our topic and what we want to share with you as you continue to go through your getting started process is how to create great relationships. We call it relationship marketing. Now everyone knows that we are a social commerce network doing a lot of what we do online, just socially sharing with people. But today we're going to talk about how you can take this exact same strategy to the streets through relationship marketing. Let's get started with our social executives, Jose and Svetlana Miranda, who have just created an incredible business. Jose and Svetlana, tell us, what does relationship marketing mean to you, and how has it affected your business?
Well, Stacey, thank you, and hello to everybody that is watching. What a joy it is to be part of the Solavei family and Solavei team. You know, relationship marketing for us, we've been in full-time ministry here for a while, and that just resonates in what we do as a company. Relationship means for us, as we build our Solavei team, many people ask us, how do you get such a large following? What have you guys done to get there without even being experts in online marketing? You know, relationship marketing for us means, number one, loving on people. That's not a flaky thing. It just means that your heart cares about the individual so much that you know that they're spending money already. You want to save them some money. So my motive when I share Solavei with individuals is because I care about you. I want to help you save some money. Versus in some of the companies where I've been involved, they see me as another number or a dollar sign. You know, that's great, and that is a great motivator because, hey, I would be lying to you if I were to tell you that we're not here because the money is not great. It is great. However, the motivation of our heart has always been because we care about you, we're going to share. And a byproduct of us caring and sharing is a great increase in our network and in our pay. One of the things that we try to do when we talk to people, I remember going to Disney World, and I remember just as a kid growing up in Puerto Rico and then moving to Florida where we went to Disney, and here we have these workers that had name badges, and they have the city and state where they work from. Remember that? And I always wonder whether it's in South Carolina or Hawaii or from all over the world. You know why they did that? I realize now being in Solavei is because they tried to create what they call that magical moment or that point of connection with an individual. So when there was a guest, they would look at that worker and say, oh, you're from New York. Oh, and the photographer would say, yeah, I'm from New York. And they would find a place of connection that would lead eventually to that family to go buy the picture because they had a connection with that photographer. Well, and the same thing with Solavei, what we do is to first, before we give the spiel, we try to find a connection with that individual. It could be a first-time person that we've never seen. You try to compliment. You try to find that moment of where are they from. Learn a little bit about them so I can guarantee you can always find a moment of connection that will then generate what Disney calls that magical moment that we can create with Solavei. But Svetlana has some great ideas, you know, when it comes to the marketing skills and what we're doing as a business that has helped us.
Yes, and just to say what Jose said, that was wonderful. Don't be a one-way broadcast channel. So when you share with people and you talk to people, don't give them your pitch immediately. Care about the person. Find out more about them. I know that Jose and I, we've tried different strategies and we are still trying to do different things. Right now, currently, we opened a kiosk now. Is Solavei opening a kiosk the only way to build a Solavei? Absolutely not. We are talking to people, again, with a caring heart.
That's a strategy for this year that we've done.
Yes, every day, and just getting those contacts. And when people give you their email address and when people give you their phone number, they are inviting themselves into your home and saying, it's okay for you to call me, it's okay for you to email me. And that's something we don't take lightly. We take those contacts, we take those phone numbers, and we follow up. And that is really so important, is the follow-up, is that personal connection, hearing your voice, you know,
versus a text,
versus a text or an email. Those are also very good, but for us, what has worked is that personal phone call. Another way how we're testing the strategy out is inviting those people to a meeting. A lot of times they may not respond to an email or whatnot, but if you have that contact with them, if you call them and say, look, I have a meeting happening, how about I invite you, I'll buy you an appetizer, bring them in, because when you bring them in, they're going to see a lot of other excited people, and they're going to hear their stories, and they're like, oh, well, if so-and-so can do this, I can do this. Or if so-and-so saved so much money on her cell phone bill and is getting free service right now, I can do the same thing. And what we've done is we're bringing people in for a weekly meeting right now. Now, you might say, well, I don't have a kiosk and I don't have a weekly meeting in my city. Well, you can do that from your home. You could join every Tuesday and Thursday for a live social, or even pop in a video, a DVD, or watch a YouTube video and buy some chips and salsa and have a good time.
And one thing before we close, one of the things I love Svetlana has brought out is never give your business and put it in somebody else's hand. In other words, if they tell you my brother and sister are interested, don't depend on them to go get them. You ask for their contact info, and I love this about what Ricardo Gloria taught us not too long ago. He said, I love this quote. He says, when it comes to sharing, instead of giving your business card, why don't you ask for their email and info and say, hey, I got some valuable information I want to send you. And you do that. And as a result, as you stay consistent and showing up, you will reap the rewards, and we're going to see you at the top. Thank you so much, Stacy, and welcome to the Solavei team.
Awesome. Well, you guys are amazing, and obviously you guys have created a network. Certainly, you're the first people I talked to when we even heard about this. And for you guys to become social networkers in that very first year, social executives, within that very first year of Solavei, you didn't do it with a kiosk. You didn't have your car wrapped yet. We didn't have business cards. In fact, we didn't have anything. You just did it powered by relationships. And so thank you guys so much. I love that you're always, in a lot of companies, people reach the top, and then they sit back and coast and collect a paycheck. I love that you guys are always out there testing new strategies, looking for new ways, not just for yourself, but that you can then go to the team and say, hey guys, this is what's working, or this is what's not working. So thank you guys so much. We're going to bounce over now to Gary Craig. You've been waiting. I'm sure folks thought I was going to come to you last. Gary Craig, I want to jump to you because you are a social networker with Solavei, one of the original founding 12 members of Solavei, and just an incredible leader. We love having you here. I know this is right up your alley, talking about relationships. Share with us, what has relationship meant to your overall network development?
Well, thank you very much, Stacy, and what an honor it is for me to be on this call with each and every one of you. And I just want to share a few basics with you, things that have worked for me in my career. And I like to keep things simple. Simplicity works for me. I don't try to tell the whole story about Solavei myself. Believe it or not, it actually is far more efficient for me to simply invite people to take a look at the incredible videos and tools that we have. We have amazing videos and tools on our phone app, online, and why not you let those tools do the heavy lifting and the sifting and the sorting for me? That way, if I spend all this time and energy on trying to convince somebody that Solavei is the thing and the place to to hang your hat, and they say, that's not for me, I've wasted all that time and energy. Whereas if I simply invite somebody to take a look at a video and they decide on their own that it's for them or not, that's okay. I'm not emotionally invested or having to spend all this time that all of a sudden is a waste. And believe it or not, the tools can do a far better job than I can. And I've always found that following up and keeping my word is profoundly important. People appreciate that. They may not say that to you up front, but the underlying message is, hey, you're important to me, important enough that I'll keep my word to you and call you or follow up when I say I will. Those things have really worked for me, guys, and they're basic, they're simple, but they work, they're powerful. The last thing I want to share with you is one of my very favorites, and it's a principle that has served me my entire career, and it's something that I passionately love, and it's the simple principle of fire. You might ask, what do you mean by fire? Well, let me state an example. In my lifetime, my absolute favorite reverend, who I've always loved and enjoyed going and listening to, Some of you all know very well, and some of you maybe far more better than I do, Stacy, and that's the Reverend Billy Graham. One time he was asked, why do so many hundreds of thousands of people come to your sermons to hear you preach? And he thought for a moment, and his answer was simple. He said, I light myself on fire, and the people come watch me burn. Now, obviously, he didn't mean burn in a bad way. He meant burn in the most magnificent way. Bottom line is setting ourselves on fire and being enthusiastic is an attraction. People want to know, what is this guy all about? What is he so excited about? You don't have to be fake. You don't have to be goofy or weird. Just be yourself. But recognize and know that deep down inside, we have something that is of tremendous value to people. We offer a real opportunity for people to save money on everything they spend their money on. Right now, we're focused on mobile services. But Solavei is so much more than that. Ultimately, everything we spend our money on will be able to come through Solavei and save money. And by simply sharing and doing the things that these leaders are talking about, we can help people make money. And guys, to me, that's a powerful and exciting message. And every day, I'm profoundly grateful to be a part of Solavei. And again, Stacy, thank you for inviting me to be on this call with you. It's an honor. Thank you. And to be with every one of these other leaders. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, well, thank you for being such an intricate part of Team Solavei and your leadership and all that you have done just to help Solavei brand grow to the hundreds of thousands and eventually millions of people that we're going to be reaching together. I love that quote you just said about Billy Graham. You know, two of my very dearest mentors and friends that I've had the privilege of spending quality time with. One was Zig Ziglar and one was Les Brown. And Zig Ziglar always said, you know, are you happy? Well, then notify your face. And, you know, people wonder, why are people not wanting to be around me? You know, you got to ask yourself, when you walk into a room, does it brighten up when you enter? Or does it brighten up when you leave? Because whether it's mobile service or cable or energy or Solavei Marketplace or insurance or whatever it is you're sharing through Solavei, you know what? People might come because at first they're excited about that service, but they will join because of the enthusiasm and the light that radiates. Solavei means sun in your veins. That's what the name means. So right. Is your light shining, is what Gary's saying. And if it is, as you make that list, you will have this law of attraction, this magnetic appeal. Ricardo Gloria, who is a social connector with Solavei and just doing some amazing things in the Spanish community. Ricardo, tell us what's working for you. It kind of sounds a little strange for us to say you are an incredible street marketer, but really you have learned how to take Solavei to the streets. Tell us all about it.
Well, thank you very much, Stacy, and welcome everybody. Le quiero dar la bienvenida también a toda la gente en español, que se sienta a gusto, porque todo esto que están viendo lo vamos a traducir también y lo van a tener también en nuestro lenguaje. Well, guys, I'm just honored to be here sharing with you guys, because how we started was basically on the street, you know, talking to people, and it takes us a little bit to get used to it. It doesn't matter what your background is. If you decide to share as opposed as to sell or to push or to do anything else, but share, actually, it's going to take you a lot farther. And what we started doing is looking at, based on our situation, how was the best way to share with everybody, look professional, without having to invest a lot of money. Because, you know, let's face it, the way it is right now, everybody needs to save money and do the best with what they have. So what we started doing is we got a couple of shirts, and this is actually a pretty nice shirt, you know. However, we got to find the specials. We went to find specials on nice polo shirts, purple, black, or white, and we started embroidering, you know, keeping it within compliance and embroidering our own shirts, saving a lot of money on that. Then we got some business cards. You know, you save some money and you get, you know, just the business cards, obviously the SIM cards. And when you go out the streets and you have your name tag hanging from your neck with your lanyard, if you can, from Solavei, you look professional. People want to speak with you. One of the best things is always to have a smile on your face, because people feel like they can approach you. So when you have a smile on your face, it's going to help you a lot. And basically what we do, kind of like what Jose and Svetlana were saying, we talk to people, and you start talking, and it goes as simple as, hey, what kind of phone is that? And then people always like to talk about their phones and brag, and then you say, wow, that's awesome. Who do you have it with? How much you pay? By the time you get done talking to them, within a minute or so, they already told you everything and how much they don't like, how much they're paying and all that. So what you say is, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to hook you up. Give me your email or your phone number, and I'm going to send you a link to show you how you can save up to 60, maybe 80%. It doesn't matter what the reaction is. You always want to hook them up on Facebook. Say, you know what, I'll tell you what, you got Facebook? Let's friend on Facebook. And because you found that common ground, either cars or movies or sports or whatever, they're gonna like it, and they're gonna say, you know what, let's hook up on Facebook. You're right. They'll give you their username or whatever. You hook up on Facebook, and when you hook them up on Facebook, more than likely within the next 4 to 6 weeks, they're gonna get involved. So keep it personal, keep it nice, and at the end of the day, when you build a relationship, you're gonna keep those people around for a long time, because there's something that I go by is relation means retention. So the more relation you build, the more retention you're going to have. What's the point of getting a lot of people if you're not going to be able to keep them for a long time? So you want to have your team building strong and with that relationship at first. Thank you very much, Stacy, for letting me share.
That's incredible. I love that. Let's rephrase that. Relation equals retention. You know, Solavei every day is making sharing Solavei simple. Right down to the further we go on, as you know, we've only been around for a few months, and it continues to grow. We've paid out over $20+ million to our members, and that continues to grow. We're very excited what's happening how it's affecting people. But every day, Solavei, the product team, and this incredible engine and machine that runs the Solavei brand is making it more and more socially simple. I love this group of leaders right here, because they're taking what's already socially simple, easy as a click of a button or sharing of an app, to the next step of relationships, because people may come because of an app, they may come because of a service, but they're going to stay because of a relationship. And that's why, again, we are Solavei, powered by relationships. Well, last but certainly not least, my very dear friend, social networker James Linhart.
Well, thank you so much, Stacy, and I'm blessed to be among the leaders on the call here today. And really, everything that everyone just said kind of keys in perfectly to what I wanted to cover. The first being Jose, where he talked about making that magical moment with somebody and really giving them an honest compliment, saying, hey, I love your shoes, or the service you gave me was great, or whatever it was. And then Svetlana going through this strategy of, now how do I follow up with that person? Ricardo talking about being the brand, and then Gary really talking about how to light yourself on fire, because when you think about talking to someone and wanting to introduce a new idea to them, it's a process. It's not something that you do and then they buy and then you never talk to them. It's a process of like any relationship out there. And so when you meet somebody out, or if it's a friend that you know or any acquaintance that you have and you want to introduce them to Solavei, there's a really easy process to bring someone through. The first being is giving them a compliment, just like Jose said. Have that magical moment. Talk to them. Find out what they need. Take that consultant role instead of that sales role. So when you're talking to somebody, how can I help you? Not here, this is what I can give you. So taking that consulting role with somebody, finding out what they need as a person, and then guiding them to the next process. Because one of the things that I follow it all the time is if I'm meeting with somebody, whether it be a phone call or a meeting like Svetlana talked about, or a meeting like Ricardo talked about, my whole goal of that meeting is to make the next meeting. It doesn't matter what happens at that meeting, whether it's negative or positive. My whole goal is to make that next meeting so I can bring people through the process. I think Ricardo said it perfectly, where when I talk to somebody about Solavei, no matter what their reaction, positive or negative, I'm still going to follow up with them. He's setting that next exposure with somebody, bringing them through that process. And when you're bringing someone through that process, I think Gary mentioned it too, is use the tools. Because whenever your mouth is moving and you're talking, you should always be pointing to either a tool or your teammates, and that would be Team Solavei. So when somebody asks you a question about CDMA or mobile phones or anything like that, use the tools provided. You don't want to become the expert. Because if you're talking to somebody, the goal is to teach them how to share Solavei too. You don't want to show them like this is another full-time job and you've got to become an expert in this industry in order to share it. You want to go, all you need to do is point to the tools. If you don't know where the tools are, you reach out to your team and go, hey, where are the tools so I can point that person to it. Because when you're initially talking to somebody, like Jose talked about, you really want to use your credibility in the beginning just to make that, like Gary said, that initial invitation, is that's where the credibility is used. As soon as they watch that tool or that video or they go to that meeting, you take your credibility off and you continue to use the tools to walk them through the process till they go, hey, I'm ready to get started and I'd love to see what Solavei has to offer. So taking people through that process, giving them a real compliment, and just having fun with it, making relationships and constantly following up. No matter if it's positive or negative, you're going to have success here. This is something that everyone can do, and I know you can do it too. Thank you so much for putting this together, Stacy.
Awesome. Thanks, James. And great point about follow-up, because that's what we're going to encourage you in your next video to really tap into. You know, there's some people that love follow-up. They love connecting and talking to people. And then there's other people that will probably watch these relationship marketing going, number one, I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to do meetings. I don't even really necessarily want to be around people. And so there is a world inside of Solavei for people just like you. And it's for our online marketers that really you want to create relationships online. Of course, we don't believe that you're really going to succeed at all in Solavei or in life if you don't think about how your life can be powered by relationships. So we're going to show you in upcoming videos. In fact, you're going to be able to watch the next video, which is the Team Solavei marketing system, where you're going to be able to see how you can take any one of these strategies, whether it's Svetlana and them working out at the kiosk, or you know, Ricardo Gloria out with he has a huge wrapped Hummer, and he pulls that thing up to a corner and puts up a tent and creating great relationships. Or whether it's, you know, Gary creating those business relationships, an incredible businessman, or whether it's James filling his funnel because he's constantly out there talking to people. Well, what do you do after those people say, okay, I want to take a look at your video? The key is follow up. Of course, through the Outreach Manager and all the free tools we've got, you can do some manual follow-up that's already available there, and we've got the tools for you to continue to resource them through Facebook with some of the graphic posts, the infographics. But we're also going to show, for those of you who want to automate your follow-up and really maybe even automate your entire sales process and sales funnel, we have something for you that you're going to be able to tap into in the video, the Team Solavei online marketing system. So thank you guys so much for being a part of this today, and we want you to remember, a single relationship has the potential to make life better for many. Welcome to Team Solavei.